The ultimatum. Commander Ilara Hayes stood motionless on the observation deck of the ESV Defiant, Earth's most advanced warship and best-kept secret. Through the reinforced viewport, she watched as the stars stretched endlessly into the void, each one representing a potential battlefield in the coming storm. The ship hummed quietly beneath her feet, its experimental quantum drive at idle, waiting for the command that would thrust humanity into either a new age of recognition or total annihilation. "They've sent another message, Commander," Lieutenant Marcus Chen said, approaching with a datapad. His normally composed face betrayed concern. "The Galactic Senate is not backing down." Ilara took the pad without shifting her gaze from the stars. The message was brief, arrogant, and final. "Submit to Senate authority within 48 Earth hours or face extinction. Humanity's crime. Developing technologies deemed too dangerous by species that had dominated interstellar politics for millennia. Have they increased their fleet positioning?" she asked, finally turning to face her XO. Marcus nodded grimly. 17 capital ships now, over 200 support vessels. They're making a statement. "They always do," Ilara replied, handing back the datapad. "Alert the crew. We're moving to position Alpha, and inform Earth Command that we're proceeding as planned." The Defiant wasn't large by galactic standards, barely a quarter the size of the smallest Senate Dreadnought. But size had never determined humanity's success. From the moment Earth had achieved faster-than-light travel and encountered the vast network of alien civilizations collectively governed by the Galactic Senate, humans had been dismissed as primitives, barely worthy of notice. What the Senate failed to understand was that Earth's isolation had forced innovation along paths no other species had explored. While the Senate relied on standardized technology shared among member worlds, humanity had developed in isolation, creating systems that operated on entirely different principles. The quantum mechanics that powered the Defiant's weapons and shields were incomprehensible to Senate scientists, and that was humanity's only advantage. An advantage Ilara intended to use. "Commander to the bridge," came the announcement over the ship's comms. "Priority transmission from Earth Command." When Ilara arrived on the bridge, the tension was palpable. Admiral Takahashi's hologram stood at the center of the command table, his weathered face grave. "Commander Hayes, the Senate has moved up their timetable. Their diplomatic vessel is requesting an immediate meeting." "This is it." Ilara straightened. "We're ready, Admiral. The Defiant can handle whatever they throw at us." "I hope so," Takahashi replied. "Because if the Defiant fails, Earth falls. You carry humanity's future on your shoulders, Commander." After the transmission ended, Ilara turned to her bridge crew. Each face reflected determination mixed with fear, the perfect formula for what lay ahead. "Set course for the neutral zone," she ordered. "Let's go meet our diplomatic guests." The meeting point was a desolate system at the edge of human space. No habitable planets, just a collection of barren rocks orbiting a dying star. The perfect place for a civilization to die, or to be born anew. The Senate diplomatic vessel arrived first, a gleaming silver craft emblazoned with the Senate's symbol. A spiral galaxy cupped in 6 different alien hands. The symbolism wasn't subtle. Galactic unity through subjugation. "They're hailing us," Communications Officer Patel announced as the Defiant dropped out of hyperspace. On screen, Ilara commanded, adjusting her uniform. The view screen flickered to life, revealing High Counselor Zex of the Veldari species. His elongated face and multiple eye stalks were arranged in what humans had learned was an expression of extreme condescension. "Commander Hayes," Zex's translator conveyed in flat tones, "I see Earth sends its pets to bark at their betters." Ilara smiled thinly. "High Counselor, I assure you, I don't bark. Neither does Earth. We're here to discuss terms for peaceful coexistence." "There are no terms," Zex replied. "Only submission. The Senate has observed your kind for decades. You develop technologies without concern for consequences. Your quantum experiments alone violate 17 Senate prohibitions. Prohibitions we never agreed to, Counselor. Earth is not a Senate member world. A technicality soon to be corrected. Zex's eye stalks swiveled independently, scanning the Defiance bridge. Your vessel appears primitive. Is this truly the best Earth can offer? Before Ilara could respond, alarms sounded across the bridge. Multiple hyperspace signatures. Tactical Officer Commander Jackson shouted. Senate warships dropping out of hyperspace. 17 capital ships. Support fleet in formation. On the view screen, Zex's mouthparts formed what humans recognized as a smirk. Did you think we came to negotiate, Commander? The Senate has voted. Earth will submit or be cleansed. Ilara's face hardened as she rose from her command chair. Humanity has a different proposal, Counselor. We will remain free, or the Senate will learn why isolating us was their greatest mistake. Your single ship against our armada. Zex laughed, the sound like grinding glass even through the translator. Your species' arrogance knows no bounds. Neither does our resolve, Ilara replied, signaling to cut the transmission. As the screen went dark, she turned to her crew. Battle stations, activate the quantum shield. Let's show the Senate what humanity can do. Outside the viewport, the Senate warships moved into attack formation. Their hulls gleamed with weaponry, plasma cannons, gravitic disruptors, and antimatter missiles, the combined firepower of 100 worlds. Against one human ship. They're powering weapons, Jackson reported. Let them fire first, Ilara ordered. Record everything. Earth needs to see who struck the first blow. The bridge fell silent as they waited, watching the massive Senate fleet maneuver around them. Then a burst of energy erupted from the lead Dreadnought, a warning shot that passed just meters from the Defiance hull. Incoming transmission, Patil announced. Zex appeared again, now from the bridge of the Dreadnought. Your final chance, Commander. Power down and prepare to be boarded, or be destroyed. Ilara looked at each of her bridge officers in turn, receiving nods of confirmation. Earth had known this day would come. They had prepared for it. We choose neither, Counselor, she replied calmly. Humanity will not kneel. Zex's eye stalks quivered with rage. Then humanity will perish. All ships, open fire. As the transmission cut, streaks of destructive energy surged toward the Defiant from all directions. The Senate fleet had committed. Quantum shield at full power, reported Chief Engineer Ramirez from Engineering, initiating Protocol Prometheus. As the energy weapons struck the Defiant, something extraordinary happened. Instead of exploding on impact, the ship seemed to absorb the attacks. A shimmering field of blue-white energy enveloped the vessel, growing brighter with each impact. Shield integrity at 120% and rising. Ramirez reported, disbelief in his voice despite months of testing. It's working, Commander. They're feeding us. Ilara allowed herself a tight smile. Let's not waste what they've given us. Prepare to return the favor. As the Senate fleet continued their barrage, the Defiant's quantum shield grew blindingly bright. Humanity's greatest achievement. Not just a defensive measure, but a weapon unlike any the galaxy had seen. The shield didn't just block attacks. It captured the energy, amplified it, and could redirect it with devastating precision. The Senate had just armed humanity's secret weapon with their own firepower. They're preparing another volley, Jackson warned. Let them come, Ilara replied, strapping into her command chair. The Senate wanted to see what humans are capable of. It's time we showed them. The Senate fleet fired again, and the Defiance shield pulsed with absorbed power. Across the armada, alien faces watched in confusion as their weapons seemed to have no effect. Shield capacity at maximum, Ramirez called out. We cannot absorb more. It's now or never, Commander. Ilara nodded, her eyes fixed on the Senate flagship. Target the lead Dreadnought. Let's introduce the Senate to humanity's answer to their ultimatum. The Defiant's hull hummed as energy redirected through its systems. The quantum capacitor's charge, drawing on the stolen power of hundreds of Senate weapons. "Ready, Commander," Jackson confirmed. Ilara took a deep breath. This moment would determine humanity's fate. Fire. Defiance. A single beam of concentrated energy erupted from the Defiant's prow, cutting through space like a scalpel of pure light. It struck the Senate flagship directly amidships, not with a spectacular explosion, but with surgical precision. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the massive Dreadnought's shields flickered and died. Secondary systems followed, the ship's lights blinking out section by section as the quantum energy disrupted its power grid. On the Defiant's bridge, Jackson stared at his console in disbelief. Direct hit. Their shields are down, and, Commander, their weapons systems are offline. One shot. Ilara didn't allow herself to celebrate. Open a channel to the entire Senate fleet. When communications confirmed the channel was open, she stood, her voice steady. "This is Commander Ilara Hayes of Earth's sovereign vessel Defiant. As you've just witnessed, we have neutralized your flagship with a single counterattack, using your own energy against you. We did not destroy it. That was a choice, a demonstration of restraint, not weakness." She paused, letting her words sink in across the enemy fleet. "The Senate has underestimated humanity from the day we achieved interstellar flight. You dismissed us as primitives, unworthy of respect or recognition. Today, that changes." Across the bridge, tactical displays showed Senate vessels adjusting formation, confused by their flagship's sudden vulnerability, but still maintaining attack posture. "We came in peace," Ilara continued. "We still desire peace, but not as subjects, not as servants. Humanity will join the galactic community as equals or not at all. The choice is yours, but choose wisely. The Defiant carries enough power for 17 more shots, just like that one. And we have 3 more vessels with identical capabilities approaching your position." This last part was a bluff. The Defiant was Earth's only operational vessel with quantum shield technology. But the Senate didn't know that. "Commander," Patel interrupted urgently, "3 Senate cruisers are breaking formation. They're moving to attack position." Ilara nodded grimly. "Target the lead cruiser. Minimal power. Disable engines only." The Defiant's weapons powered up again, this time emitting a shorter, less intense burst. The target cruiser spun out of control, its propulsion systems dead. "Remaining Senate vessels are standing down," Jackson reported, excitement in his voice. "They're powering down weapons systems." A new transmission came through, not from the disabled flagship, but from one of the other Senate dreadnoughts. The alien face that appeared belonged to a Tellarite admiral, a species known for pragmatism. "Commander Hayes," the admiral spoke carefully, "the Senate fleet requests a temporary ceasefire to assess the situation. Your technology is unexpected." "Ceasefire granted," Ilara replied. "But understand this, if any vessel powers weapons again, we will respond in kind, and next time we won't aim for non-essential systems." After the transmission ended, the bridge erupted in controlled celebration. Lieutenant Chen approached Ilara, lowering his voice. "They don't know we drained most of our capacitors on those shots. We couldn't disable another capital ship if we wanted to." "Then let's hope they don't call our bluff," Ilara responded quietly. Status report. Shield regenerating at 15% capacity. We'll need at least 2 hours before we can attempt another full power shot, Ramirez reported from engineering. The good news is the energy conversion matrix worked better than our simulations predicted. If they'd kept firing, we might have taken out their entire fleet. For the next hour, the Defiant maintained position while the Senate fleet regrouped. The disabled flagship drifted, emergency systems barely functioning. Finally, a new transmission arrived. High Counselor Zex appeared, no longer from his command bridge, but from an emergency control center. The arrogance had vanished from his posture, replaced by something humans rarely saw in Senate representatives. "Caution. Commander Hayes," he began, his translator struggling to convey the complex emotions in his voice. The Senate fleet proposes a diplomatic solution to our disagreement. Ilara raised an eyebrow. I'm listening, Counselor. The Senate requests a formal delegation from Earth to present your case for recognition as a sovereign power, not subject to standard assimilation protocols. In exchange, we will withdraw our fleet to neutral territory. And the ultimatum. Zex's eye stalks lowered. A gesture of concession. Suspended, pending diplomatic resolution. It wasn't victory, not yet, but it was acknowledgement. For the first time since encountering the galactic community, humanity had forced the Senate to see them as equals. We accept your proposal, Counselor, Ilara replied. Earth will send a diplomatic delegation within one standard week. Until then, the Defiant will remain here as a reminder of our position. After the transmission ended, the Senate fleet began a coordinated withdrawal, except for 2 vessels that remained to assist their damaged flagship. The bridge crew of the Defiant watched in stunned silence as the massive armada retreated. We did it, Chen whispered. They're actually backing down. Ilara nodded, fatigue finally showing on her face. For now, this isn't over. It's just beginning. The Senate doesn't forgive being embarrassed. They'll be back, with new tactics, new weapons designed to counter our technology. But we'll be ready, Ramirez interjected, joining them on the bridge. The quantum shield worked better than we hoped. With the data from this encounter, we can improve it, build more ships. And next time, added Jackson, we won't be alone. Ilara looked out at the retreating Senate vessels. Contact Earth Command. Tell them we've bought time, but we need to accelerate the defense program. Every shipyard, every resource we have needs to focus on building our fleet. The following days were a flurry of activity. As the Defiant maintained its position, Senate vessels kept a respectful distance. Diplomatic channels, dormant for years, suddenly hummed with activity. Species that had previously ignored humanity now reached out, curious about the civilization that had stood against the Senate and survived. A week later, Earth's diplomatic vessel arrived, escorted by 3 new warships, not as advanced as the Defiant, but impressive nonetheless. The message was clear. Humanity had teeth and wasn't afraid to show them. When the Earth delegation departed for the Senate homeworld, Ilara remained with the Defiant, patrolling the border of human space. Admiral Takahashi had offered her a promotion, a desk at Earth Command, but she had declined. Her place was here, in the void, watching, waiting. Incoming transmission from the diplomatic team, Patil announced one evening, as Ilara reviewed tactical simulations in her ready room. Ambassador Okoa's face appeared on the screen, tired but satisfied. Commander, I thought you'd want to hear it from me first. The Senate has formally recognized Earth's sovereign status. We're the first non-member world to achieve this status in over 300 years. Ilara allowed herself a small smile. Congratulations, Ambassador. What about technology restrictions? Still being negotiated, but they've conceded our right to develop independently, provided we don't share quantum shield technology. They're frightened, Ilara. Not just of the technology, but of what it represents, a completely different path of development than anything they've seen before. Good, Ilara replied. A little fear is healthy. It breeds respect. After the transmission ended, Ilara returned to the observation deck where this journey had begun. The stars looked different now, not potential battlefields, but possibilities. Humanity had earned its place among them, not through conquest or submission, but by standing firm. An ensign approached, offering a datapad. Latest reports from the border patrols, Commander. Ilara took it, scanning the information. Senate vessels still watched from their side of the neutral zone, but they kept their distance, weapons powered down. The Senate laughed at us. The ensign said quietly, called us primitives. Now they're studying our every move. Ilara handed back the pad. They should study carefully. Today we defended ourselves. Tomorrow, perhaps, we'll explore together. But never again will humanity bow to intimidation. As the Defiant continued its patrol, word spread throughout the galaxy. A new power had emerged. Not the largest, not the oldest, but perhaps the most innovative. The species that had been dismissed as insignificant had revealed the danger of underestimation. The galaxy would never make that mistake again.